Ever wondered what challenges one might face in the world of digital video editing? Let's delve into the common issues. First off, dealing with large file sizes can be a daunting task. It's like trying to navigate a ship in a sea of data. Then comes the challenge of maintaining video quality. You want your visuals to be as crisp as a fresh autumn morning, but sometimes it feels more like a foggy day in London. Managing complex software is another uphill struggle. With a myriad interfaces, settings, and options, it can feel like you're trying to crack the code of an Enigma machine. And let's not forget about syncing audio and video. It's a delicate dance. One misstep, and the harmony is lost. If you've ever experienced these challenges, you're not alone, but don't worry, we're here to help you navigate through them. Before diving into the solutions, it's important to understand the process of digital video editing. So what is it exactly? Well, in simple terms, digital video editing is the process of taking raw video footage and crafting it into a cohesive, engaging story. It's a lot like sculpting, starting with a big chunk of marble and chipping away until a beautiful statue emerges. It's about more than just cutting and pasting clips together, though. It's about finding the rhythm, the pacing, the flow of the story. It's about enhancing the visuals, tweaking the audio, and adding effects to create a certain mood or atmosphere. And why is it so important? Because it's where the magic happens. It's where a bunch of random clips become a compelling narrative, where the raw material becomes a work of art. Understanding this process is key to overcoming the challenges we previously mentioned. The first step in video editing is importing and organizing your footage. This step is as crucial as the editing itself and should never be overlooked. When you're dealing with multiple shots, different locations, and perhaps various days of shooting, things can get messy quickly. That's where organizing your footage comes in. Think of it as decluttering your workspace. You wouldn't want to work in a chaotic office, would you? The same applies to your digital workspace. By categorizing your footage, whether by scene, location, or day, you're creating a streamlined process that allows you to easily locate and access your material. A well-organized footage library not only saves you from the frustration of hunting down that one elusive clip, but it also expedites the editing process. You'll find that your workflow becomes smoother, faster, and more efficient. Remember, a well-organized workspace is the foundation of efficient editing. Once you've imported and organized your footage, it's time to create a rough cut. This is where you begin shaping your raw footage into something resembling your final product. A rough cut is like a first draft, where you're selecting and arranging clips to form the basic structure of your video. Start by choosing the most compelling shots that tell your story best. Don't worry too much about precise timing or transitions yet. Focus on getting your main ideas and sequences in place. Feel free to experiment. Shuffle scenes around, drop in different shots, and see what works best. After you've selected your clips, arrange them on the timeline. Again, don't fret over perfection. The goal here is to create a skeleton of your video, a loose structure that you can refine later. Remember, this is a process of discovery. You're exploring your footage, finding the gems, and starting to see how they fit together. The rough cut won't be perfect, but it gives you a starting point for your final edit. With the rough cut complete, the next step is to fine-tune your edit. Now, this is where the magic really happens. It's time to refine your masterpiece, frame by frame, until it's just right. Think of your video as a diamond in the rough. Your raw footage is the diamond, and fine-tuning is the process of polishing it to perfection. Start by trimming your clips. Cut away any unnecessary parts and make sure each frame serves a purpose. Next, adjust your transitions. These should flow seamlessly, guiding your viewers from one scene to the next. Remember, a good transition is like a well-told joke. It's all about the timing. Lastly, let's sync the audio. Good audio is the heartbeat of your video, setting the tone and rhythm. Make sure it aligns perfectly with your visuals. Fine-tuning is where your video starts to come together. It's the step that transforms your rough cut into a polished gem, ready to dazzle your viewers. Once you're happy with your edit, it's time to add some polish with effects and color grading. Think of these as the final touches that can truly make your video come alive. Effects are tools used to enhance or alter the visual aesthetics of your footage. They can range from subtle filters that slightly tweak the appearance of your shots, to more dramatic transformations that completely change the feel of your video. Color grading, on the other hand, is the process of adjusting the colors in your footage to achieve a desired look or mood. Whether you're aiming for a bright and vibrant style or a dark and moody atmosphere, color grading can help you get there. It's all about using these tools creatively to tell your story in the most engaging way possible. Remember, the power of effects and color grading lies in their capacity to enhance, not overshadow your content. With effects and color grading, you can make your video stand out. The final step in the video editing process is exporting your final cut. It's like the bow that wraps up your creative gift. Now, let's dive in. Choosing the right export settings is paramount. A slip here can degrade your video's quality or balloon its file size. First, you'll need to select the format. MP4 is a safe bet for most platforms. Next up, resolution. Always aim to match your source footage. If you filmed in 1080p, export in 1080p. Simple as that. Now, frame rate. Again, consistency is key. Stick with your source footage's frame rate. The bit rate is the last major player. Higher bit rates mean higher quality but larger files. So choose wisely. Remember, each project may demand different settings, so don't hesitate to tweak these parameters to suit your needs. Exporting may be the final step, but it's crucial for delivering a high-quality video. Now that we've covered the steps of video editing, let's summarize what we've learned. We kicked off by acknowledging the challenges of digital video editing. It's a craft that requires a mix of technical skill, creativity, and a keen eye for detail. Yet it's these challenges that make the process so rewarding when you see your raw footage transformed into a captivating story. Next, we dove straight into the heart of the video editing process. It's a journey that begins even before you hit the record button. Pre-planning, understanding your narrative, and visualizing your final outcome are all integral parts of the process. Importing and organizing your footage is the first practical step. It's all about keeping your workspace tidy and your workflow efficient. This is where you'll sort through your clips, label them, and arrange them in a way that makes sense to you. The rough cut is your first draft. Here, you start to piece together your story, getting all your clips in order and beginning to shape your narrative. It's like putting together a puzzle, finding the best way for each piece to fit together. Then comes the fine-tuning. This is where you'll make your cuts seamless, adjust the timing, and perfect your transitions. It's your opportunity to smooth out any rough edges and ensure your video flows naturally from start to finish. Effects and color grading are the finishing touches that can give your video a professional look. Whether it's adjusting the color balance, adding a filter, or using an effect to enhance a particular moment, these elements can make your video stand out. Finally, we looked at exporting the final cut. This is the moment of truth, where you'll render your video into a single file ready to be shared with the world. Remember, video editing is a process, and with these steps, you're well on your way to creating great videos.